Okay, so news broke that Nicki Minaj's little sister is planning a meeting with the Breakfast Club. And I'm going to be honest with you all, and I'm not going to bite my tongue just because that's Nicki Minaj's sister, because I can care less. Okay, I'm not scared of the bars. I'm not scared of whatever group is out there. You know, at the end of the day, I feel a lot of the times people are scared to speak their truth out of intimidation. Okay, but here's the thing, right? First and foremost, I think we all can agree that Nicki Minaj is very talented, right? I'm not gonna sit up here and say, Nicki laid on her back and that's the only reason why she got her fame. I don't think so. Nicki Minaj came on the scene back when I was in middle school. Okay, everybody and their mama had a Nicki Minaj MySpace profile, including me, right? Everybody and their mama wanted to be a Barbie, a Barb, as far as, coming to school with the pink hair. My parents never allowed it, but for the little girls that their parents didn't care, they had on the pink wigs, the little tutus, what was it called? Harajuku Barbie or whatever. My parents weren't going for that. I couldn't wear pink hair and all that other mess, but some parents didn't care, right? She was ushered in when I was in middle school. So, I want to say she been in the game for about 10, 11 years now, right? Around that neighborhood, right? So I'm not going to sit up here. One thing Remy Ma said I did not agree with, her songs are, whack. I don't think so. I don't think so. Cause it's a couple of them that I still listen to this day, Your Love, Baddest B, the list goes on. It's a couple of them that I still listen to. Shoot, I had on Bottoms Up just blasting in my car just then, so with Trey Songz. So we're not gonna sit up here and discredit her as an artist. If she did do little stuff here and there, to smile in people's face, to get what she need out of the situation, I mean, let's be honest, people do it all the time. If you good looking, why not use your looks to get what you want? I'm not saying use people. I'm not saying sleep around. But I'm saying, if she gave a couple of extra compliments here and there, being nice, extra, extra nice, here and there, smiling in people's face, puckering their lips, like a blowfish, and, teasing them a little bit. I don't see nothing that she did wrong. I don't see nothing she did wrong. She didn't do anything different than a lot of us, okay? Being nice to the person that, for example, telling a guy he looks really good, or he looked really nice today and he looked messy, or his hair need to be cut, or he need to wipe his shoes off, but we'll tell him he looked nice and he lost weight, and, to get what we need out of the situation. I mean, I think we've all done that. If you're a person that is extra nice, giving extra, extra compliments, oh, I like your shoes, or I like your shirt too. That's no different than basically brown nosing, right? So, apparently, people have been speculating that Ming is supposed to be exposing Nicki, right? And I think it's crap, and I think it's BS. I'm not going to say she is, but I'm not going to say she isn't. Because we don't know too much about Ming. Hell, we don't even know too much about Nicki, other than what, she shares with us. But we don't really, we don't really know these celebrities like that. We, when people say, what can she expose? We don't really know anything. Or Nicki is very upfront. Let me tell y'all something that my pops always told me. It doesn't matter how upfront a person is. They're only going to tell you but so much. They're only going to tell you but so much. So even though she may tell us some stuff, that girl is not telling us all her tea like that. No smart person is going to tell you every single detail of their life. They may tell you some stuff, but they're not going to tell you everything. Now, by that being her sister, I believe she knows some extra stuff that Nicki probably, chooses to put in her past or doesn't want to talk about. Hey, that's her sister. She's going to have that kind of access to certain information. Now, I'm going to tell you what I think it is. If it's true that she's trying to have a meeting with the Breakfast Club, I'm going to tell you what I think it is. I think she wants to be in the music industry, and Nicki does not want her to be in the music industry. So Ming is doing like a lot of people these days. You know, it's been that way since the beginning of time. If you don't get them what they want, they'll blackmail you. Now, I'm going to tell y'all something. When I first read the story, I said to myself, if she go on social media and blast her sister, I'm not sure how many sisters Nicki has. I don't keep up with it. But if she does that, the first thing that crossed my mind, I said, she's stupid. She's stupid because even if you can't get that out of her, Nicki strikes me to be the type that has a big heart as far as her family. Now, as far as the public, not so much. But her family, I mean, most Sagittarius are very loyal people. Most of them. They loyal to the people they want to be loyal to. I put it that way. I saw an old video back in the day. I don't know if y'all remember, but back before Nicki really started taking off, she used to have a TV show. That's how long I've been following her. She used to have a TV show. She's had that pink car for some time. She used to have a TV show, and her mansion used to overlook some water. I remember it, right? This was before Nicki really, really took off. Now, I remember one of her episodes, they chopped it up into a clip now. It circulates. YouTube, Nicki takes her family shopping. Y'all, she took her family shopping. I don't know if she did it for the cameras or what. She had them, you know, picking out little stuff they wanted. But I remember a certain family member, she was like, no, don't just grab one. I don't want you to feel like you only have to grab one. Grab as many as you want. She doesn't strike me to be the type that won't look out for you. You see what I'm saying? Now, I know people were saying she had a cousin or something. I'm not too sure about that. That wanted to come stay with her. She told him no. And he ended up getting murked. Now, and she felt bad. But see, my thing is, I'm not going to say that makes her a bad person because, quiet as it's kept, I don't blame her. Because when you reach a certain level of fame and money and stuff, if you let one come stay with you, 9 times out of 10, all them MFs going to try to come. You know what I'm saying? And she's a very busy woman. She can't have all y'all up in her crib like that. If you let one come, next thing you know, oh, I want to come too. Come get me too, Nicki. You know, she can't have all y'all up in there like that. It ain't even a matter of she don't trust you. It's just, it's not good. It's just not good. It's just, I don't blame her. I mean, I would have helped out here and there, but I would have made myself clear that you are an adult. Just because, you know, I have a certain, you know, level of wealth, I can't keep helping you. Because if I keep sending you money, that means I got to do the same for everybody else. You see what I'm saying? Now, I'm not sure of the dynamic between those two. I don't know if they were close. I don't know. Right? But if y'all weren't close, I'm thinking they had to be close for him to ask her for some money. Because we all have family members that we deal with and those that we don't deal with. You're more likely, if you need it, you're more likely to ask somebody that you're close with versus somebody that you're not close with. You see what I'm saying? So, okay, so here's the thing. I think she's stupid if she do Nicki like that. Because Nicki don't strike me to be the type to be like, you know, I could, you know, Ming calling her, sis, I need some new shoes for the school. $50 probably ain't nothing to Nicki. $60, however, you know what? Shoot, we can say the shoes cost $1,000. I heard some of these celebrities blow $1,000 in one night in the club. That means that's like a drop in the bucket for them. Like that's play money to them. She doesn't strike me to be the type that if Nicki that if Ming needs something, some clothes, some shoes or something, that girl got it. You see what I'm saying? And I just think it's stupid. These days, everybody and their mama want to be a celebrity, a big time influencer. Nobody, very rare. My little cousin told me the other day she wanted to be a YouTube creator when she grew up. And she's not the only child that I've heard say that. Like, these days, it seems like the kids not saying doctors, lawyers, astronauts, you know, judges, teachers. They're not saying that no more. Her best friend said she want to be an IG model. These like babies. My little cousin 8 years old. You see what I'm saying? She said she want to be an IG model. You know, so these days everybody want to do it just because they say, oh, Ming can sing. She can carry a little tune. I heard it, but it's everybody can't be a singer just because you can carry a tune. It's more to it. You have how many celebrities have people that have wrote hit bangers that we no longer hear from? Y'all remember that nice looking guy named Lloyd? He sung the song You. Don't judge my music. I can't sing. People always think I can sing, but I can't sing. What was that song? But like, try, admit it. You sing in my minute, say what? You know I can't sing. But y'all know, for those that you know what I'm talking about, look up Lloyd. Was it You? I can't remember, but it was Google Lloyd featuring Lil Wayne. And it'll come up. He was real nice looking. That song came out when I was in the 5th. Was I in the 5th or 6th grade? I was in the 5th or the 6th grade. All the little girls was crazy about him, including me. He done came and went. Just because you can do a little 1-2, 1-2, that don't make you a stamp rapper. Look at that girl, Chicken Noodle Soup. Chicken Noodle Soup. What was her name? Bree or Brianna or something? She done came and went. You know, so I feel like Nicki is protecting her. She knows it takes more to it. And then again, they say that industry is something else. She may not want her around them people like that. She may not want her. And if that were my little sister, I wouldn't want her around them either. Y'all gotta understand, Nicki is not, a lot of people don't see it for her because they feel like she's a mean girl. You see what I'm saying? And if they can't really get next to her, like talking about it. So sometimes when people can't get next to you, they'll hit somebody you love. You don't know what people have up their sleeve for that girl. Out of their spite for her sister. And Nicki probably know that. Nicki ain't stupid. She probably want her to go about things the right way. But Ming stuck in her ways. She see her sister driving a car. She see her sister have the house. We don't know what Nicki had to do to get that stuff. We don't know. Hell, I was reading somewhere just then. They said she had an abortion when she was 16. I said to myself, damn, she been fucking for a while. But then, like my cousin told me, just because you lost your virginity when you was 21, you got to remember it's other women that they was a little more faster than you. You know, so I didn't know that. I didn't know Nicki had an abortion when she was young. I didn't know that. Now, this is all alleged. You know, I was reading somewhere. I don't know if that's a legit article. I don't know. But whether she did or whether she didn't, at the end of the day, we don't know what Nicki had to do. And maybe she just doesn't want to subject Ming to some of those things. Because she know how people can be. Maybe she knows we don't know if Nicki grew up kind of street smart. She was born in New York. So from what I hear, New York people are very street smart people. They grow up very fast. You know, so when I say fast, I mean like fast in your mind. And maybe she know Ming is not that fast like she was in her mind. Like, for example, I have relatives that say I was sheltered. My parents kept me in the house. I didn't learn what weed was until I was 19 years old. I was asking my cousin, why was she putting grass in bark, like tree bark? I didn't know what that was. Her guy friend started busting out laughing. I said, well, I was wondering why she was putting green stuff in bark. Until he told me what it was. She said she slapped him upside the head. Said, don't tell her that. Come out. You know, my peoples will kill me if they feel like I'm trying to, teach her stuff that she don't know about. That's when I found out it was weed. I had a guy friend said he was doing stuff in front of me, right? I said, what's the purple stuff? He said, weed. I said, I thought they said weed was green. He said, weed come in all colors. So my good Judy at the time was like, okay, you about as green as they come. It's bad. You don't know simple shit like stuff that you should know. You know, so maybe Ming is like me. Maybe she didn't know stuff like that because she wasn't brought up around stuff like that. And maybe Nicki knows. But I tell you what, she's stupid if she put her sister on the spot. She's stupid. Because that girl probably would do anything in her power to help her. she probably would, and she's stupid if she burned that bridge. That's really stupid. Is it just me, or have y'all ever seen an obituary of a person that, you know how you read the obituary and it's like the person, whoever created it or gave the people the idea of what to put in it, and you reading it, or you know, like how you go check online if you heard somebody no longer here, and you know, you look it up, and then you know how certain websites you can not Google it, but you could type it into the website name about that person, and just to see, you know, if, like, for example, I can't get my words together. Like, okay, I'm gonna just give y'all an example. Shit. So, a couple of days ago, well, not a couple of days ago, a couple months ago, but I just found out about it a couple of days ago. A lady that used to go to my church, she's no longer here. So, let's just say everybody knew she was a dyke. Everybody knew she was a dyke. You know, whatever, right? So, she was an older lady. So let's just say, I've had a couple of run-ins with this lady. For those that grew up in the church, we all know how some church people can be, right? We all know how some church people can be. So let's just say this particular lady, she has said a couple of hurtful things, to me throughout the years, right? So, you know, that's why I say all church people are not meant to reach the younger people. Y'all ever, like I tell anybody, when you first join a church, the older woman that first come up to you and say, hey baby, I'm Miss So-and-so. You could talk to me, you could call me anytime, run. Run for the hills, run for the hills. It's always those that you definitely don't need to talk to. And I have learned this at multiple churches. Do not, okay? Them choir directors are usually messy as fuck, okay? The choir directors are messy as fuck. The people in the choir are usually shacking up harder than the people in the congregation, okay? Know it, all right? If they ain't married, they shacking, okay? The ones singing to the glory of God, the main one of the choir, that, you know, the ones that they always get as solos to, they be the main ones that's judgmental as hell, you know. So it's just little stuff that I don't know about nobody else, but I like smaller churches. My motto is you join the smaller churches, but you visit the bigger churches. I don't know about nobody else, but if my pastor don't know my name, that's a problem for me. I like to have not like a one-on-one interaction with my pastor, but I like for my pastor to know me, you know, like know me by my name. No, you know, something happened to you. You want your pastor to be able to, you know, speak over you. You know what I'm saying? You don't want him to have no generic, you know, eulogy. You want him to be able to speak over you. But anyway, long story short, so this particular lady, she just, you know, I don't say names and none of my stuff, but I'll give you an example, right? She has said some hurtful things to me throughout the years, and it wasn't no secret that she had her ways, and people knew. I mean, we all got our ways, but it's just one particular situation. I once upon a time I had a good Judy, and you'll see where I'm going with this. She was light skin, curly hair, you know, typical, right? Well, not typical, but you could. I never really looked at her, you know, really looked at her like a guy once told me. Oftentimes when we were growing up, people would compare us. People would compare us, and meaning like if we would go to the mall or to amusement parks, people will always say things like, I want the red bone. And I remember one particular time where a guy had said, well, damn, I got to get the brown skin. Well, why I can't get the red bone? So when I would tell people that, they would say, like, how did that make you feel? And I would always say, you know, I always knew I wasn't an ugly girl. I'm a caramel. Back then I had, you know, I was heavy chested, like I told y'all. So I was more so on the, chunky side, which people always told me back then, you ain't fat, you just got big boobs. But for a woman, well, I wasn't a woman just yet, I was a girl, but y'all get my drift. Back then I had real big boobs but no ass. So of course that made it look like I was shaped funny, right? Let's just call it what it is. So, as we got older, I would notice, when we would go places, by her being a skinny, light-skinned, curly hair, hazel-eyed girl, I would notice, things that guys would do, and just the little stuff. So it's like it really didn't bother me. But I remember one particular time, it took a guy to bring to my attention. He said, I want the mixed one. And I said to her one time, never forget, I said, you're not mixed. She said, yes, I am. I said, really? I always thought she was just a light-skinned girl, right? And you'll see where I'm going with this, why I brought her up. And mind you, her sister used to come to our church, her older sister. So she would bring her to the church sometime, and you'll see the connection, right? So I would say, I said, you are? And the guy was like, you don't think she's mixed? And I just looked at her, I said, I just thought she was a light-skinned girl, He said, you clearly haven't had a good look at her. And I looked back at her, I said, you really are mixed? She said, yeah. She said, they say my daddy is white. Because I knew her mama was black. I've been around her mama and them, right? She said, they say my daddy white. I said, is he white? She said, I don't know, right? So y'all already know where I'm going with that part, right? So I would notice when we would go to water parks, when her hair would get wet, it would curl up, right? So I just thought, well, we just, I never really dawned on me until she said, you never really thought about how when your hair wet up, it knots up and mine curls up. And it just really never dawned on me, right? So people would say, so one time, a guy came around and said, she looked better than you, right? So it didn't really, because I never been one that, like, you could really never hurt me. If you talked about my wigs or something, that would bother me more than you. Because I never really, people never really called me ugly growing up. Fat, yeah, but ugly, nah. So, when I would get mad or I would go off on people, people would say, you're acting ugly. But I never had nobody really growing up that said I was ugly. They would say fat, or they would say my wigs was ugly or something like that. But they never really, So, long story short, when we had our major fallout, she told me it was about a guy. But long story short, she ended up talking to a guy that I wanted to talk to. But around I don't know about nobody else, but around middle school, high school, I was not allowed to date. I could talk to you on the phone, but you couldn't come over. You couldn't even sit in the living room. Versus her mama didn't care what she did. I'm going to say her name. She started having sex when she was 8 years old. So she was already out there. Sometimes she wouldn't even come home. Her mama wouldn't be home a lot of the time. So she was able to be out there, right? So, long story short, this particular guy I really wanted to talk to, I was only allowed to talk to him on the phone. So I would tell him, just wait till I'm 18. Then, we can hang out. Mind you, we were still in middle school, right? So he would say, nah, man, which he was a couple years older than me. I met him through my cousin. My cousin had a friend that I had a crush on. We was all around the same age, but not too much. When we was in the 7th grade, they were in like the 9th or 10th. So it's not the same age group, but kind of, sort of. But y'all get what I'm saying. All of them was already having sex. Looking at my body, you would think that I was having sex, but all of them was already having sex. I was still a virgin, right? So, So boom, right? So long story short, one particular time, when we had a fallout, she was the type of bitch that she would link up with the enemy, right? So her and the enemy, linked up with my cousin, because me and my cousin, we used to bump heads a lot, right? You would think that he was supposed to have my back, and nah, man, that's my cousin. It won't like that, right? And another guy, the guy that I just told y'all about, right? I'm gonna say his name. So anyway, they all linked up. She ended up linking up with him, having sex with him. And the way I found out that she was linked up with him was back then we had MySpace. I don't know if y'all ever heard of MySpace. With the pages and, creating the pages and stuff. And I looked on the page and she had a picture with her and him together. And I asked her about it. I said, I had a crush on him. Why would you do that, And we went back and forth. She hung up. I kept trying to get clarity on the situation. Looking back, so stupid. It was what it was. Plain as day. So long story short, one of the things that she said that kind of stood out to me, mind you, this particular chick, she's a big time stripper now. You would hear me bring her up in multiple story times because, she's a catalyst to a lot of situations that happened throughout the years, right? While being in school, but she ended up dropping out, being a stripper. Anyway, so nonetheless, so one of the things that she said to me, and you'll see why I brought this lady up. She said, he wants a light-skinned girl with curly hair. And she brought up the fact that she said, she was just saying, I look better than you. Most light-skinned women look better than brown skin. Just stuff like that, right? So that hurt my feelings. She said a couple of other things about, things that he said about, he don't really want a brown woman. And it just up until that point, I never really saw nothing wrong with being a caramel skinned woman, well, girl, back then, and to this day, I don't, I didn't see nothing wrong with it, but the way she said it, the red bones are better, so at that point, it kind of hurt my feelings a little bit. Right? It kind of looked my feelings a little bit. So, I cried to this lady about it. You see what I'm saying? So, I cried to this lady about it. So, by that hurting my feelings and stuff. And she said, she told me that, well, it's not her fault. She knew who the girl was. She said, it's not her fault that she looks better than you and she can take your dude. That's not her fault, because it takes two. She gotta want him just like he gotta want her. And y'all, that further twisted the knife in my back, like not in my back, but like in my heart, because it hurt my feelings so bad that I really liked him. I really, wanted to see him, but it wasn't my fault. My parents told me I couldn't because they felt like I was too young. So when I talked to my deuce about it, she didn't like the lady no way. She didn't want me to be around the lady because she felt like the lady was a dyke and I was young and impressionable. And she, she didn't want like the lady no way. Neither one of my parents. The lady picked me up one day. We were supposed to go get pizza. And my aunt and them was over there. And my aunt was like, why is she riding with that man? I don't like it. And my deuce was like, that's a lady. And my other aunt was like, bullshit, that's a man. But nonetheless, they didn't like her no way. And then when I told her that, my pops told her to stop calling the phone. He didn't want me to talk to her no more because he felt like, that was mean-spirited to tell a little young girl, something like that. And they didn't like her no way because they felt like she was a dyke. So nonetheless, I was reading her obituary. And mind you, this person I just told y'all about, she sung in the choir, and she ended up leaving our church not long after that because, she said, well, it got back to me that people were saying how she shouldn't be allowed to sing in the choir if she's a dyke, right? She's a bulldagger, right? So she ended up going to another church and ended up singing there, right? So boom. Nonetheless, more of the story, I was reading the thing and I was, people say this was a beautiful person, wouldn't hurt a soul, wouldn't this, wouldn't that. And I thought about, some of the things that she had said that was mean-spirited to me throughout the years. And I wanted to comment so bad, bullshit. This lady was full of shit. And, you know, I'm the MF for that would do some mess like that. But I say, you know what? I ain't gonna do it. I ain't gonna do it. I ain't gonna do it, you know. Because the fact of the matter is, we all have offended people one way or another. Even sometimes we may not have even known that we have hurted somebody's feelings. And, you know, we all gonna have our day where people gonna be reading you know, our stuff, and you know, and they can say certain things about us. You know, I may have said some things that may have hit people that didn't even realize it, you know. So, you know, it hurt me, and she was unapologetic about it. She said it is what it is, you know. And it wasn't the fact, it wasn't even that so much of that. It was just so much of, you know, I never knew it until other people brought it to my attention. I'm like, huh? I don't see it, you know. And when I talked to my deuce about it, I said, they said she was mixed and I should know. And I said, she looked like a regular light-skinned girl to me. I don't see what the hype is. And my dude said, no, that look about right. I said, what you mean? I said, look about right. What you trying to say, you know? She said, no, I'm saying she do look like she could be a mixed girl. I said, really? She said, yeah. I said, she told me her daddy probably white. She said, yeah, that look about right. Look like she might have some Puerto Rican in her too. It's definitely up that alley. I said, really? You know, because I always thought she was just a light-skinned girl. I'm gonna be honest with y'all. I pick my friends off of personality. One of the main things, I don't say friends, but usually what makes me, I say vibe. Usually what makes me vibe with people is the fact that the first thing first is you can make me laugh. If you can make me laugh, I will gravitate to you naturally. I will definitely put my hooves in you. I would definitely be in your face often. I'm just going to be honest. That's me. If you can make me laugh, I will be so, I love a person that can make me laugh. And when I tell y'all, this bitch was funny as fuck. Like, she was funny. I could see why she's in that type of arena. Not to say, even if she's not a stripper, I could still see her being somewhere where she has to be a social butterfly. Because no matter how it ended, one thing I could never say, the bitch got a lot of personality. She's not like a lot of these bitches out here, they got the look, but no personality. She has a lot of personality. A lot of personality. She wasn't really smart in school, but she made like C's, you know, stuff like that. But for me, it was like the A's and the B's, but I just had behavior problems. I had a temper problem. But nonetheless, yeah, she was funny as fuck. So I didn't really never take the time to, you know, but as we got older, I'm like, they, you know, we both could be standing there and the guys are like, both of them in her face. Like, I'm not standing here. I'm not ugly. But, you know, it is what it is, you know. So, more of the story, you know, I was reading that bullshit. I'm just like, oh, please. Anyway.